Hello, Literature and Writing 338 students. Welcome to the lesson. During each unit so far, at least one of the lessons has covered a writing-oriented skill. The others cover things like conventions and historical contexts. Today's lesson then covers a writing-oriented skill. It's going to cover essay structure, which I know from reading your essays that some of you are struggling with, hence today's lesson. Many of you are really getting better at generating arguments that are specific, debatable, and complex. Yay! And many of you are also starting to get the hang of close reading, which I'm thrilled to see. So great work there. Despite that, I can see sometimes though, one thing that some folks are still struggling with is how to organize their ideas in the essay once they have this cool argument. Argumentative essays specifically are structured through their argument. The argument drives the essay. It's like in control, and it's what determines what you need to talk about first, what you need to talk about next, after that, and so on and so forth. In some of the essays that I read recently, the essay didn't necessarily have a specific direction. People were talking about this thing and then that thing and then the other thing, and that's not the most effective way to go about it. So that's part of what I'm going to talk about today. Really, there needs to be a clear argument that determines what it is that you talk about first, and then after that, and then after that. We're going to do a sample argument from the movie Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Did you say Willy Wonka?
Yeah, I did. Who's there? Who is it?
It's me, of course. Veruca Salt.
Oh.
What is it you're saying about that dreadful chocolate factory?
I was just going to show the students how to use their argument to outline or structure their essays.
Essays? About Willy Wonka and the chocolate factory? Ew, why?
Because that's one of the things they're learning in this class, how to analyze books or films to figure out what the meaning or the message of the text is. What's the message?
The message of the movie? That's easy. It's that rich children deserve to win.
Really? If that's true, then why did Charlie end up getting the chocolate factory in the end?
Oh, that. Details.
The details actually matter.
Details.
If the details don't support the argument, then you don't have a viable argument. Veruca, maybe you could try again to give me an argument I can actually use as an example.
No, Daddy, I don't want to do that. I want to feast.
I am not your daddy, and I don't have a feast for you. I mean, I've got some ravioli.
Oh, Daddy, I don't want any ravioli. I want a feast. I want a bean feast. Cream cakes and donuts and fruit cake with donuts.
Yeah, I get it, Veruca, I get it. Listen, okay. Maybe a possible theme based on your character would be something on the lines of you reap what you sow. Or maybe if parents give in to their children's demands, those demands will become endless. Or maybe if parents don't offer negative consequences for bad behavior, they'll end up with a spoiled brat.
I'm not spoiled. I never get anything I want. This is so boring, Daddy.
I'm not your damn daddy, Veruca. There are a number of ways to approach an argument. It really just depends on what the argument is. But no matter what approach you use, every single argument is one big claim that is made up of smaller claims or sub-claims, right? We build up the sub-claims until we've provided evidence to support the entire argument.
Sub-claims? Whatever do you mean?
Actually, that's a good question, Veruca. Let's figure it out. Let's choose one of the claims I offered as examples right now. For example, let's say that we're arguing that the book is promoting appropriate consequences by showing that without consequences, parents are doomed to raise a spoiled brat. If that's our overall claim or argument, then there are two types of evidence, examples from the film that I could use to support that, right? One would be examples that show how providing consequences leads to good behavior. The other would be examples that show how not providing consequences leads to bad behavior. Consequences, good behavior. No consequences, bad behavior.
There are lots of examples of stupid children doing stupid things in that chocolate factory. I remember that Augustus Gloop. Can you believe he used his hands to eat that chocolate? He deserved what he got.
Well, stupid children doing stupid things is a start. But it isn't quite there yet. So it's not enough to show that Augustus is stupid, right? Or that he misbehaves. With this example of Augustus, you would need to demonstrate that Augustus's parents don't give him consequences when he misbehaves. So that would be first thing. Second thing, that Augustus therefore continues to misbehave. And the third thing, that misbehavior causes negative things to happen, right? You'd have to show all of those things, that his parents don't give consequences, that lack of consequences results in worse behavior, and that worse behavior results in bad things. We're discussing literary characters. So this isn't real people. We're not talking about real parenting. This is just what the book is suggesting based on its story. The story doesn't really prove anything about real parenting. Instead, we're looking at whether the text presents these fictional events in a positive or a negative light.
Are you saying I'm not real, Daddy? That makes me very angry.
Stop calling me Daddy!
So now that I've talked a little bit about thinking about the subclaims that are embedded in an argument, I'm going to ask you to practice with subclaims. Then in the next installment, I'll tell you about what do you do, how do you use those subclaims to develop an outline or to structure your essay. So stay tuned, and she'll probably be back too.